This weather alert day. I'm Julie Williams, and we know that right now thousands of people still don't have power from the storms that we got Sunday night, and we could have more storms on the way today. We want to take a live look at the Consumers Energy outage map. It's a lot clearer than it was at the start of the week, but right now about 62,000 people who use Consumers still don't have power. Now, Consumers says they're still trying to get the power back on. They were out this morning in the rain. We also had thunder and lightning this morning, so that probably made your drive into work pretty wet. There was a lot of rain. Things have calmed down, at least for now. We want to take a live look over downtown Kalamazoo. It's still pretty gray out there, and it looks like we've still got some rain falling. So we'll turn things over to meteorologist Will Haney, who's keeping an eye on things for us. Good afternoon, Will.
Yeah, good afternoon, Julie. And as we've been messaging all morning, it's really the early storms that we're not overly concerned with. It's more the later afternoon and evening that if we see these stronger storms, that's when they would occur. So while some of these storms this morning have certainly been loud, producing some loud rumbles of thunder and flashes of lightning, they're not overly concerning just yet, and we'll explain that momentarily. Temperatures are still right now at this hour in the middle to upper 30s. We're seeing widespread rain and heavy at times, but we still are continuing our weather alert day for the threat of damaging thunderstorms after about 4 p.m. I think. As we look at live Doppler radar, you can see there's still a good amount of rain, little clusters of lightning as well moving through, and there's more of that off to the southwest. So we're going to continue to see these thunderstorms training on one another. In fact, if anything, in the next couple hours, you'll just have to watch for some low-lying areas where we might have some minor flooding, especially places near urban areas where there's poor drainage. The reason why our storms so far, though, haven't really packed much of a punch is because they're elevated. What does that mean? Basically, we have warmer air riding over those 30s near the surface, so cold air below. Typically, an elevated thunderstorm, what that means is just that updraft is a little bit more elevated in the atmosphere than what we would consider on a warm, sunny day. Typically, these don't usually pose a threat of tornadoes or wind, but they can sometimes produce hail. We have seen some very small hail reports so far, but nothing significant, and that's why we haven't had any warnings just yet. Now, as the warm air continues to kind of override that colder air near the surface, you see the temps kind of spike into the 50s and 60s, closer to about the evening rush hour. It's really in that time frame that we're going to watch for some possible strong to severe storms, that threat possibly continuing as late as about 11 p.m. to midnight. So that's the window of opportunity that we're dealing with. The severe weather outlook hasn't changed just yet. We'll get a new update by the end of this half hour. We'll see if these risks go down at all. I think there could be a downward trend slightly due to the widespread nature of the rain, and it looks to kind of stick around, which could limit overall our threat later on, which would be a good thing. We're going to be timing out, though, our possible redeveloping storms later today, coming up in minutes. Julie.
Thank you, Will. And folks, to stay up to date on any alerts, watches, or warnings that we might get tonight, you can download our free weather app. Right now, you can scan the QR code that's on your screen, and that'll help you do that. Or you can also use the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store.
All right, our weather alert day continues here in West Michigan late this afternoon and into the evening. That's really the prime time where we could see just a few strong to severe storms. This was that outlook released from the Storm Prediction Center. That's a national forecasting branch of the National Weather Service. Somewhat rare, actually, to see that level of risk down across portions of Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Missouri Boot Heel, and southern Illinois. It's a high risk for severe weather. For us, it's something called an enhanced risk, a risk category 3 of 5. I mentioned this towards the top of the hour. We'll get an updated outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. They basically refresh this a few times a day. I think it's pretty likely that we may see the risk threshold come down slightly based on some of the latest model guidance. That being said, I don't want you to let your guard down completely. It's just that the nose of warmer air may not arrive in time where we see much in the way of widespread severe weather. I think it could be a little bit more localized and mainly confined, as I see it, to the southern couple tiers of counties, perhaps. So we'll have that hopefully by the end of the show. As we look at temperatures, we're in the middle to upper 30s, and that's what's limiting our overall storm threats right now. We have storms, but again, they're elevated higher up in the atmosphere, and this colder air almost acts as a shield to protect us somewhat from damaging winds or certainly tornadoes. As we look at live Doppler, still a good amount of lightning, and it's also that cold air situated below the warmer air aloft. That's why some of these rumbles of thunder are very loud and kind of linger. That's an inversion kind of trapping those sound waves. But you can see clusters of lightning pushing out of Ionia County. There's a good amount right now along I-94 and more off to the southwest. So we're going to continue to see these training thunderstorms. We're already nearing an inch of rain in Kalamazoo, not quite that in Grand Rapids, but still about 3/4 of an inch. Benton Harbor has already surpassed 1 inch of rain. So if there was any threat, if you will, in the next couple hours, road ponding, maybe some poor drainage areas, especially in low-lying spots, you may encounter some road ponding and puddles, things of that nature, some minor flooding in the next few hours as more heavy rain is forecast the next several hours. It's not until, again, the late afternoon where we're going to have to really watch these storms as warm air continues to lift in. That's going to erode that really cold air near the surface. You can see temperatures closer to about 6 o'clock in those 60s across that southern couple tiers of counties, even into, I would say, Allegan, Berry, and Eaton counties as well. So these areas of orange, they're going to tap into not only that warmth, but a good amount of shear, turning of the winds in the atmosphere, and a change of wind speed with height. That's what organizes severe thunderstorms. So those are the ones we're going to have to watch very closely. It's a very conditional day, though, meaning we may not see a whole lot of severe weather, but if we do see some storms, they're going to be in an environment where they could really, I think, strengthen very quickly. So the biggest kicker here is going to be the instability, whether or not we see any sort of peaks of clearing. Even without necessarily true sunshine, we could still get a little instability, though. The shear, though, is what really caught our attention even days ago, just the fact that we have extreme levels of shear. Here's that instability, that rising motion in the atmosphere trying to creep its way in closer to about 5, 6 in the evening. So that's something we're going to watch, but you can notice it really hugs that Michigan-Indiana line through about 8, 9 o'clock. Let's take a quick peek outside and check out Battle Creek. You can see soggy down there in the downtown and some low-hanging clouds at that. Here's a quick peek at your 7-day forecast. Good news is if we do see any stronger storms, we have good days on the way. The next couple of days, good days to recover, that is, with temps in the 50s, and we should be mainly dry before another widespread round of rain late Friday into the first part of Saturday. Julie.
All right. Thank you, Will.
All right, soaking rain and some rumbles of thunder continue the next few hours. It's really after 4 o'clock that we just got to be on guard. We don't want to scare you. We just want you to be prepared. And so from about 4 p.m. to midnight, just kind of keep an eye to the sky. If any watches are issued, we'll keep you updated both on air and online. 64 degrees will do it for a high. That's going to happen late afternoon and evening. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings. This should always be the case, but weather radio is great, but keep those devices charged as well.